Nice. All right. Well, we've got a few more minutes here. Does anybody want to talk about anything else, or do we just want to wrap it up?
I think we should wrap it up.
New iPhone.
Wrap it up. New iPhone. Okay, let's just do a survey. Okay, let's play with that for just a second here. The new. Okay, first of all, did everybody watch the Apple announcements, or at least do?
I watched it all during class.
Yeah. Okay, so does everybody know what was announced?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so
Courage.
New Apple Car.
courage. So it was courage. I love it, courage. So the Apple Watch, the newest, the version 2 or Series 2 Apple Watch, newest Apple Watch, the new iPhone,
New Apple toilet.
Apple toilet.
No.
No. Mario on I guess what, iOS. I guess that's coming. And
Pokemon Go on Watch.
Pokemon Go on Watch. There's a partnership with Nike. Yeah, to have a special version of the watch, I guess, or an app or something. I don't know. Anyway, watch bands, blah blah blah. But basically, all watch news. And I think that was it. Really, I mean, that seemed like to be the
wireless headphones, expensive wireless headphones.
Yeah.
With the batteries to.
They're definitely doing away with the headphone jack, and now it's going to be a Lightning connector. But they're going to provide an adapter in the box, so you won't have to worry about
and
that.
Lightning headphones and Lightning earpods.
Yeah, which I don't know that I don't really know that I care about those yet. They're going to have to convince me on those because I have a pair of cheapy Bluetooth headphones that I've been using with my iPhone for a year, and I've been wireless for a year, right? They're selling it like it's a new thing, or not really selling it, but I'm saying like they're trying to say they had the courage to remove the headphone jack. But I'm like, well, I think
they have the courage to sell you yet another dongle.
Well, I think
what? Putting one in the box, but
next version they won't be in a box, right?
2 years from now, 18 months from now, we'll either be like, what were they thinking, or we'll be like, wow, they really were ahead of the curve.
It's all the same thing. I remember the same conversations happening in the 90s when they got rid of the floppy drive. I mean, It's the march of progress. It is what it is.
Well, here's the thing, though. I mean, I just said that I have a Bluetooth headset, right? But of the people here, how many people here own and use a Bluetooth headset with their phone on a regular basis?
I do.
1, 2.
Does the car
count? Nobody else?
I didn't go out from home
while driving.
Well, okay. So
I only use the over-ear stuff, the stuff that like little things that fall out of my ear, because these things can fall out of my ear really easy. The only reason, they're tethered to me. The notion of a wireless one that can just fall out.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the earbud thing. Not their buds. Their buds never fit in my ear. They never hang into my ear. I can't do anything but sit motionless. But my point really was, when it was floppy, when it was DVD, all these things. I mean, we reached a point where you were like, yeah, when was the last time I used a floppy? Right. And then they got rid of it and it made sense. And it was just, they were just kind of saying, okay, time of death, and they were just calling it. Here, I feel so far ahead of the curve that I'm like, I don't know.
With new connector, instead of audio, you cannot listen to the music or talk over the headset and charge your iPhone at the same time. Is that the...
I bet you could I bet they're going to sell a splitter.
Well, yeah, but you have to have it. You can just...
I mean, what lesson or not lesson did they learn from single charging / USB port on the MacBook?
Yeah. That's a very good.
Was there a backlash? Because if they didn't get a backlash on that, then they learned that they can do this.
Well, maybe so. I don't know.
But I figure out that the new MacBook with a single port is really a replacement to the Air model, which is used not like a real computer, not like MacBook Pro, which you really need a lot of USBs, but just a general on-the-way computer. And
I'd
really,
push back on that though, because I've used a first generation Air that had a single USB port, and I used one that they released later that had two, and it's a world of difference. Really is.
okay.
Yeah, I have just on this MacBook right here. This is just a 2013, 2014, I don't know, something. And it's got two USB connections, and I've got the USB microphone plugged in. I've got the USB headset plugged in, and then after that, I'm done. I can't plug anything. I'm done. So for me, I don't know. I feel like I think having one connector that rules it all. That's fine, but I need give me more than one.
They've also put up a barrier to just the notion of like, hey, I'm hanging out with some people. I've got an iPhone. You got a jack? I can turn this into. I can play DJ.
Now
And yeah, there's an adapter, and yeah, there's other things, but it's a barrier to that, right? And it's something that going back to the Walkman has been the case.
Now you're that guy. Oh, he's that guy. Oh, he does. He doesn't have a connector. Oh, he doesn't have a connector. He's that guy. Right? I mean, like, what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you're right. I mean, you used to, you wanted something where it's a positive experience. I think maybe at this point you're absolutely right. Here, plug your. Oh, you can't. Oh, you can't.
I'm really glad that of course is a new technology on the board, because that connector is really outdated. That's for sure. There's so many times I've experienced faulty headset because the wire was not good enough, and when you connect it, all the static noises, or when you leave your phone nearby, the wire picks up all the noise from the phone. And yeah, digital connection is expected. So
that's a good point, because I didn't think about it, but my daughter had an iPad and she had a cheap pair of earphones from Amazon, and the jack, the connector got stuck inside of when she pulled it out. It split in half, so the connector was stuck in her iPad. I can never get it out, so she's not able to use the iPhone, the earphones anymore. So maybe they just don't. And when I was looking, it seemed to be a common problem. So maybe they just didn't want to deal with it at the, Genius store. I'm sure they're just bringing them back in.
Yeah,
Well,
and
there you go.
that outdated jack is a showstopper for waterproof.
It's just interesting. I mean, there's a school of thought though that says that there are a lot of people that created third-party peripherals that could interface via that non there's no patents on that. They've got a patent on the lightning on the lightning port. So if you create a peripheral that worked, Square built a business on processing credit card transactions that worked through a non patented technology, the headphone jack. This changes things for Square. If Square wants to use iPhones to process credit card transactions, Apple gets to kind of levy a tax on that now.
Or you can use Bluetooth.
I suppose that's true.
Well, Apple's been doing that forever. I mean, that's classic. That's.
No, the developers will adjust. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm hoping that what they're saying is true. That by opening it up, changing the technology will open up new possibilities, right? By being able to pass data across the wire.
I'm still disappointed they didn't introduce NFC API. They should have mentioned it if they did it right. No NFC on iPhone 7 when any major Android phone has it already. It's a big showstopper for many people. Yeah, but now they have API for the haptic engine, so I will make a plugin for that for sure.
Yeah, I think I like those kinds of things. The little things, right? I like the haptic taptic engine stuff that they're putting into the phone and those types of things. And the watch, I have to admit that I will probably buy the upgrade of the watch because
And with the home button that is now not mechanical but sensor only.
I hear Charles's son celebrating that he's going to get Charles's old watch.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So the home button will not be breaking that much as the old ones.
Unless it cracks.
So it's not mechanical anymore. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
It's like the MacBook. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there's no physical price of the home button anymore.
Oh. Huh.
It's like the MacBook Pro that got. I think was it the MacBook Pro that has like the Force Touch on it.
Yeah.
It used like a little vibration motor to like kind of trick you into thinking that it's going down.
And MacBook as well.
Oh yeah, the MacBook too.
Gotcha. Okay.
They're also. Oh, sorry, I just like to say. Also, they weren't like the first major company to dump the headphone jack. Earlier this year, I'll post a link to it. Motorola unveiled their phone that got rid of the headphone jack. It's called the Moto Z. But they had like modulars and stuff like that, modules that you can like put on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there's no headphone jack.
Interesting. Well, I think either way, it's good marketing, right? Because people are going to talk about it, and then it means they're going to talk about the new phones, and that means they're going to talk about the new watches, and that means they're going to talk about Apple. And I think that's what sells stuff. So at least get people into the store to see if they like it, and then once they mess with it, once they play with it, they'll be like, well, I guess I can do without the headphone jack, right? And then
I'm also a little disappointed about the camera. I was really wondering what they could come up with, because with their resources, it could really make something revolutionary with dual camera setup. But it was very simple usage: one wide, one tele photo, and just blur effect.
they did. You're talking about the blur effect of that, like the depth of field thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Broken.
You wanted more.
Mm-hmm. I wanted for them to figure out something more. Maybe their second sensor could be like infrared, ultraviolet, some special effects, thermal camera. I don't know, something crazy.
When I saw the two cameras next to each other, I thought they were going to do stereoscopic images.
Well, they do get depths of field information, but it's very limited, I would say. So it's artificial because it looks there's a like neural network that recognizes the person and figures out the shape of the person to make a software blur of everything that is outside. So that's not really a true depth of field, but some simulated one.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, I'm looking forward to. I was kind of surprised that they didn't do any sort of Mac updates.
No, it will be too packed for one event. So MacBooks are moved to October.
Is it October?
Yeah.
Doing that again?
I would say October.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no iPad this year, according to the rumors.
Well, they've already done the iPad Pro, right? And then, they've done all that. I think they did the Apple Pencil and the iPad Pro and the iPad, the small one, the big one, and the small one, and all that.
There's been weird variants in that in the past too. Like they've accelerated the pace and released mid-cycle, and then they've sort of let it go an extra 3 or 4 months. So
remember iPad 3?
I still have one.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. My old company bought it, so it's all good.
Okay then.
But yeah, my wife uses it, and you know what? It's perfectly fine. iPad. It was the first Retina one. Got to play around with that day one. That was kind of fun.
I've got the second gen iPad, the big heavy one, right? And it still works.
I have that same one.
I have it too.
Yeah.
I also have iPad.
I've still got a first gen one laying around.
Second one.
I'll put it away.
Yeah, still works. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to wrap it up and say good night and or good morning or whatever it is, the time that you are. Thanks for being here. I've enjoyed this immensely. I've got tons of notes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take and just basically I'm going to chop this thing up. I'm going to publish it as a whole, but I'm also going to chop it up because we've got some great bits here. We talked about Bluetooth and Android contact stuff. We did Firebase, site templates, Hoopy Loops.
Loopy hoops.
Hoopy what?
Loopy hoops.
Loopy hoops. Okay, I better get that right. Loopy hoops.
Not hoopy loops. I did that myself.
Loopy hoops. Loopy hoops. We've got Royal Heroes and all the great stuff that Badam shared, and then Apple announcements. So we've got a full lineup, and that's a lot of videos that people will enjoy. So.